Hello everyone, welcome to Something's Cooking with Alpa, and if you are just like me and love to try new recipes, then this one is just for you. And it is the Korean rice cake recipe. Guys, it is little chewy, it's full on chatpata and absolutely delicious. Guys, it's a very famous street food in Korea. So here in India, I tried to replicate it using the ingredients which are easily available over here, and I've made the veg version so that everyone can enjoy this mouth-watering dish. So without any further delay, let's begin with our recipe. So guys, to make the Korean rice cakes, let's take 250 gram or 2 cups of rice flour, which is chawal ka atta. And to this, I'm going to add half teaspoon of salt. And now let's start adding little water at a time and let's knead a dough. Now guys, I'm going to give you 2 tips to make the perfect rice cakes. The first tip is to use really hot water. Make sure it's really hot and not just lukewarm when you are kneading the dough. And the second important tip is to make the dough nice and tough. If you make a soft dough, then it will fall apart when you're boiling it. See, this is how your dough should look like. And now let's simply cover it up and keep it aside for the next 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, let's uncover and let's refresh our dough by kneading it just for about 30 to 40 seconds. And then we are simply going to cut it into bit-sized pieces. And now let's take one of the pieces into our hands and let's cover the rest with a cloth so that it doesn't dry out. And now we are simply going to give it a long cylindrical shape. You can use any flat surface to do so. Here I'm using a chopping board and I'm applying a little pressure while rolling it. And this is how we are going to achieve the shape that we desire. And now it's time for us to cut them into 1.5 inch long pieces. And guys, we are simply going to repeat the same process with the rest of the dough. And see guys, over here I have all of the dough cut up nicely into 1.5 inch pieces, and now we are simply going to boil them. So in a vessel, I've already heated up some water, and once it comes to a boiling point, then let's start adding all of our rice cakes, and then we are going to cook them for about 5 to 6 minutes on a medium to high flame. After 5 to 6 minutes, let's remove out our rice cakes onto a plate. And then let's add 1 teaspoon of oil on top of the rice cakes. And then using a help of a spoon, let's give everything a good mix so that all of the rice cakes are nicely coated with the oil and they don't stick to one another. And now it's time for us to start making the gravy. So in a pot, I've kept some water for boiling. And to this boiling water, let's add 3 large ripe but firm tomatoes on which I've made some cuts so that the skin comes off easily. And along with the tomatoes, we are going to add 9 to 10 dried red chilies, and I've removed the seeds of the red chilies so it is not very spicy. And we are going to boil it for the next 5 minutes or until the skin of the tomatoes comes off. And then let's remove it out and wait till the time it comes down to room temperature. Then we are going to remove the skin and add the tomatoes along with the red chilies into a blender. We are also going to add 1/8 cup of fresh coriander leaves along with the stem. And then we are going to blend till the time we get a smooth puree out of it. And once the puree is ready, then let's just keep it aside for now, and let's take a wok or a kadai and let's add 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. If you don't have sesame oil, you can use the regular oil. And once the oil is hot, let's add 1.5 teaspoon of sesame seeds, which is til. And then we are going to add half teaspoon of ginger garlic paste and give it a good mix. And let's cook it for about 30 seconds. And then let's add the tomato, dried red chili and coriander puree into the wok. And along with that, we are going to add 1 tablespoon of tomato sauce. It balances out the sourness of the tomatoes, followed by half teaspoon of soya sauce, half teaspoon of red chili sauce, 1 teaspoon of vinegar. Make sure to add only 1 teaspoon and not more, otherwise it will become much more sour than it needs to be. 1 teaspoon of Kashmiri red chili powder. Now guys, this is just for the color, so don't get worried. 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper powder, followed by 1.5 teaspoon of salt, or you can add as per your taste. And now we are going to mix everything together and cook it for the next 2 minutes on a medium flame. After 2 minutes guys, it's time for us to add 1 large onion which I have roughly chopped or sliced. Guys, make sure that you chop them thick, not too fine, otherwise they will get too blended in with the gravy, which is what we don't want. So make sure that you slice it nice and thick. And now we are simply going to cover it up and cook it for the next 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, let's uncover and let's add the boiled rice cakes to the gravy. And follow it up with half cup of green onion leaves, which I've cut into 1.5 inch long pieces. And now let's give everything a good mix. Once everything is nicely mixed in, then let's add 1.5 cup of hot water. Guys, remember to add only hot water and not cold water so as to retain the taste of the gravy. And I just added 1 teaspoon of sugar. Very important to add sugar to cut down the sourness of the tomatoes. And now we are simply going to cover it up and cook it for the next 7 to 8 minutes on a medium flame. After 7 to 8 minutes, look at our gravy and look at our dish. Nice and thick and nice and creamy. Oh my god, the aroma is everywhere and I'm telling you, this is absolutely delicious. So now let's remove it out in a serving plate. And guys, this is going to be so delicious. The rice cakes are going to be nice and chewy. The gravy is going to be nice and chatpata. It's not going to be very spicy, mind you. You will be able to enjoy it. And now let's simply sprinkle some green onion leaves on top, followed by some roasted toasted sesame seeds. Oh my god, this is absolutely heaven. Do try it out guys. This is a unique dish and you will absolutely enjoy it. Try it out, share this recipe with your friends and family, and don't forget to click on the subscribe button, and I will see you very soon. Meanwhile, you take care. Bye bye.